What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. So, Donald J. Trump went to Israel to celebrate the ceasefire of the war over there in Gaza. And of course, what you're going to hear is rich white criminals celebrate the genocide of the Palestinians. You're going to see them make light of the billions upon billions of US dollars that we gave Israel to commit genocide on the Palestinians. You're gonna hear criminals advocate for pardoning other criminals. You're gonna hear the height of global white supremacy. The height. And if you don't believe the words that's coming out their mouths, I don't know what to tell you. Now, like I said, as an expert on counterterrorism, I want to let you guys know that that wasn't a war. War requires two militaries to fight each other. And as a combat action veteran, right, who's been in the shit, I'm here to tell you, and all my veterans will back you up. You see, Muslims, right, those Arabs, when they fight, they also use propaganda. So when you're fighting the Taliban, when you're fighting Al Qaeda, when you're fighting these ISIS, when you're fighting these organizations, what they do is, every time they have a success, even if it's just simply shooting one American soldier, they will record it and they will post it on the internet to show that they are winning, or that they are having success, or that they're able to eliminate, Marines and soldiers and American troops in order to build morale, to recruit other people, right, to let them know that, hey, if they are really, fighting these guys and they're taking them down, we can do it too. Let me join. I want you to notice that during it was October 7th, the entire supposed kidnapping of these Israelis was recorded. Okay, listen to me now. It was like I think it was a couple hours where, unabated by any Israeli police, any Israeli military, these supposed Palestinian Hamas members, who you've never really seen any of the soldiers until that day, supposedly their faces were covered, and they supposedly went unabated and rampaged throughout Israel. Right? Somehow they managed to get over those walls, all that extra security, all that Iron Dome, all that redundant security that the American taxpayer has paid to make sure that those people stay out. And keep in mind, before that event, they have been occupying and slowly genociding those Palestinians for the better part of 70 years. So that action, even if it was real, would have been an offensive action by an occupied force towards an occupier, not a terrorist attack on an indigenous population. The terrorist attack on the indigenous population is happening from those Eastern Europeans, those Ukrainians, those Russians, who are Germanic people pretending to be Semitic Jews when they are really barbaric, savage Anglo-Saxons from Europe. The terrorists are actually those people imposing themselves onto the indigenous population, which are the Palestinians. So that action technically would have been freedom fighters using military tactics to try to attack, weaken, or fight back against an occupying force in real life. Now, that whole thing was recorded in HD, in high definition, in 4K, used as propaganda. But somehow, after that, there's no propaganda in Gaza with the killing of IDF soldiers. You saw no videos being posted, not even on the dark web. You saw no videos posted on the regular web, and you didn't see any propaganda on Fox, CNN, or MSNBC, which would have gladly used the very same footage to show how deadly and savage those Hamas soldiers are toward the IDF soldiers, to galvanize the people against Hamas by showing the IDF soldiers being attacked or civilians being attacked. You saw no further propaganda from the so-called Hamas military, have you? You only saw a one-way street, perfectly manicured, to tell you there was a war going on, when in fact it was a corporate-sponsored demolition of Gaza and the surrounding area. So now this peace treaty, after the Israel saying supposedly they wanted to get back their troops, they want to get back the hostages, which were all troops, by the way, because every Israeli citizen is a soldier, and these were soldiers who were captured supposedly by Hamas, because we don't know what they look like, because they were all wearing masks, right? Notice how wearing of the mask makes it so you can see something without really seeing something. Right? I remember all the Iraqi and Afghanistani propaganda coming from the terrorist groups that we were over there fighting. Now, I'm not saying that they are good guys. Trust and believe. There's no good guys anywhere in this situation or that situation. Trust and believe, right? But they love using propaganda. Where are all the videos of the Hamas soldiers winning the day? Where are the videos? There are no videos. You know why? Hamas, even though it's a real organization, very small organization that can't effectively do anything at all. So IDF, the criminals who now run Israel, they needed a reason to go in there and take Gaza, because they've been wanting Gaza. You want to talk about overcompensating or using excessive force? You're talking about maybe a couple hundred supposed, hostages, which, by the way, the IDF killed most of them by having a carpet bombing campaign onto the places that these hostages were supposed to be, which shows you the IDF does not care about hostages. You see, when we have hostages, we go get our hostages. We will send the Marines, we will send Delta Force, we will send the Army Rangers, we will send somebody in a small lethal force to go get our hostages, because we have the intelligence to do so. We have satellites and technology. We will go there directly, but Israel didn't do that. They acted like they didn't have the technology to find out where these people are in such a small location. Apparently they disappeared to the wind. And Israel decided they was just going to destroy it, killing most of the hostages. Because remember, the IDF, they don't care about their own people. Well, I should say the government. The government don't care about the IDF, which are their pawns, their soldiers, their serfs, their slaves. Those are the basic, normal Israeli citizens who are, half of them are programmed to hate the Palestinians. The other one have no choice in the matter to go over there and fight the Palestinians. And they're not even taking care of the IDF troops, because they don't care about none of those people. What they care about is that real estate. So now they're going to go over there and pretend like there was some kind of peace deal made, but you never see the opposite side. Every time a peace deal was supposed to be made, Benjamin Netanyahu, the war criminal, akin to Hitler, he killed the negotiator. What do you think that was in Qatar? They were killing the negotiating team that sole purpose was to negotiate a peace treaty. 3 or 4 times Israel has killed the people that were in charge of negotiating a peace deal, because they don't want peace. They want problems, always. Right? So I need you guys to understand, this is not a peace treaty. This is another phase in the genocide and ethnic cleansing of a group of people for a strategic location that they've been wanting from the beginning. Because there is no propaganda out there on the other side against Israel. And if you notice, you didn't see much of this war, because they learned their lessons from Iraq and Afghanistan when you saw footage on both sides that the public was not supposed to see. So they controlled the message, they controlled what you saw, so they can tell you that there was a war going on, when in fact it was just a genocide, an ethnic cleansing, a crime of humanity happening by 2 criminals, financed by one criminal, Donald J. Trump, and implemented by the other criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu, and friends, because there are people behind Benjamin Netanyahu who are worse than him, just like there's people behind Donald Trump who are worse than him. It's the people you don't see that we need to worry about. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
I mean, Bibi would call me so many times, can you get me this weapon, that weapon, that weapon? Some of them I never heard of, Bibi, and I made them. But we'd get them here, wouldn't we? Huh? And they are the best. They are the best. But you used them well. It also takes people that know how to use them. And you obviously used them very well. But so many that Israel became strong and powerful, which ultimately led to peace. That's what led to peace. Hey, I have an idea. Mr. President, why don't you give him a pardon? Give him a pardon.
The world needs more Trumps. You, President Donald J. Trump, are a colossus who will be enshrined in the pantheon of history. Thousands of years from now, Mr. President, the Jewish people will remember you. We are a nation that remembers. Far from being a local struggle, what we are witnessing is a global struggle, a global battle between the forces of extremism, radicalism, and fundamentalism, and those of freedom, liberty, and democracy. What the world needs now is not appeasers who feed the crocodile in the hope that they will be eaten last, like the kind we have seen recently at the UN General Assembly. And by the way, President Trump, your team has checked the teleprompter. It is working beautifully. What the world needs now are more leaders who are brave, resolute, strong, and bold. The world needs more Trumps.
Over and over again.
להוציא את חבר הכנסת עודה, להוציא אותו מהאולם, להוציא אותו מיד, החוצה, החוצה, החוצה. להוציא גם את חבר הכנסת כסיף, להוציא את חבר הכנסת כסיף מהאולם, להוציא אותו מיד. Sorry for that, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Please.
That was very efficient.
Donald Trump is the greatest friend that the state of Israel has ever had in the White House. No American president has ever done more for Israel. And as I said in Washington, it ain't even close.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.